Hello. Yes, hello. And welcome to our Easter parade of fun. How's that? That's okay. I mean, it's normal, but don't forget to tell the people tomorrow is our last 11:30 show when we debut Monday at 11 o'clock. Well, you just told it. Well, I missed the podcast. Can we go back to doing that? We'll talk about that tomorrow night, okay? Just do the intro. And now, tonight, from the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios inside the Park Forest apartment complex in Piscataway, New Jersey. This is Steve Sporty Balls. Tonight, we don't know what we got because our electronic board had a little malfunction. I'm Harry von Stuttgart, and now hopefully he can do this properly. Here's our band, the man with the plan, and maybe a couple of broken ribs. Our buddy Steve, the Baxman Baxley. Hey, how's it going? We may cut this short tonight, by the way. Happy almost Easter, except in places where Easter is already happening. And we thank you for making us a part of your nightly broadcast. We do have an announcement on tomorrow that is going to be of great use and great joy for all of us. Oh boy. Anyway, just want to say happy Easter, everybody, and I hope the Easter Bunny gives you something you truly like. And I got to move this up a little bit. Anyway, we got a little sponsor. I'm going to talk about them in a bit. I got a lot to do this week and very little time to do it on Monday. So I'm going to spread it out. Spread it out and hopefully do it without pain. Because right now I am in big pain. It all has to do with the accident. And if I ever go back to Henry Ford Hospital again, I'm going to find some x-ray people who know what they're doing. Because really, I think I may have injured my ribs. I don't know, but we're going to find that out. Anyway, welcome. I was watching the Tuck and Roll show with Jolly and my favorite delight. That is, of course, the lovely and enchanting Miss Piper. Anyway, wonder what they're doing right now. I got no monologue tonight.
But another successful show. Good to be back in full ass for.
Yeah, so we are back. We are here. You are there. Everyone is enjoying the madness. That is whatever we're doing. And you're going to enjoy it. Sunday, we got a little announcement. Obviously, our promotions department spoiled it when they debuted the new logo. And that is just the tentative new logo. We're not sure it's going to be the regular logo. But nonetheless, let's get on with the show. because we got an hour and oh, anyway, I want to just tell everybody that on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, there is a recipe that is being made where you can make ice cream out of cottage cheese. And you want to know something? You can, and it is damn good. So there you go. I got to finish washing things up. Then tomorrow, the folks from HUD are going to be joining the fray. I am not the only one that got the message. Everyone else did. Um, so there you go upon every bit of water. Okay. Uh, let's see. Where's the card of the queue? So I can say hello to some people. Okay. Want to remind you that tonight our show is pseudo sponsored by the folks at the law offices of Sam Bernstein. They do care a lot about you folks, and they will help you any way they can, especially if you need a free consultation. They will do it for you, and they are great. I should know. I am going to be probably using Sam Bernstein. I got in touch with one of their people, Michael Rothstein, and he gave me some great advice. I got to do a few things this week. Like, for example, I got to go over to Seymour Ford and get some pictures and call OmniSource so they can decide whether or not it is salvageable. They might give me a price. If they do, I'll take it. I'll accept. But it's all coming up in this lovely, insane week we got. Okay. After saying that, let's get to some news. And let's stick to college basketball right now. Wow. Every bucket that is broken. Yes, no static. Huzzah. By the way, we are coming to you, as Harry said, from the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios here at the Park Forest Apartment Complex. We are the fourth floor. Studio A is in the process of being finally cleansed, and we will be transferring from this area into the studio. We're going to get a few things to make it a little homey. And of course, later this spring or summer, we will be ensconced. We will be using not to mention, got a new laptop, which we will debut when our Twitch channel debuts on Monday. Hopefully by that time, everything will be settled up. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great Easter. My Easter, I am going to be going. My cousin Brenda will be picking me up at 1:00, and I will be going to what used to be formerly my grandma's house, but has been my Uncle Mike's home, and I will finally get to see everyone there. I miss them all, well, except for one, but I'm not going to say who. Anyway, let's get to the news. Everybody have a great and happy Easter, everybody. Anyway, let's stop talking and let us get to eat. The best basketball conference during the 2023-2024 college basketball regular season was not the Atlantic Coast Conference, But the best showing by any conference during the 2023-24 NCAA tournament by virtually any measure belongs to the ACC, the beleaguered league, which had 4 teams with below 500 records in the regular season and 7 teams that finished outside the top 80 of the net, most or NET, most among all major conferences, had 3 of the final 8 teams remaining in this year's March Madness, leading into tonight's action. It is guaranteed at least one of the spots in the Final Four, with North Carolina State and Duke facing each other Sunday in the South Regional Final, and it could punch a ticket as early as Saturday night tonight, as number 6 seed Clemson looks to make its first Final Four when it faces number 4 seed Alabama. Now, despite getting just 5 bids to the NC2A tournament, which was 5th most among major conferences, despite having the most teams among major conferences, the ACC so far has gone a combined 11-2 overall. Every ACC team won its first round. Every ACC team won its second round. And come Monday, we very well might have a Final Four comprising of 2 ACC teams. Now, North Carolina State, the only double-digit seed still standing in this year's tournament. Let's head for the homelands, people. There we go. Which got into the field as the number 11 seed only by virtue of winning the ACC tournament, is the best example of the league's underrated depth and firepower that made March very mad this year. No, the league did not rate well compared to the likes of the Big 12, Big East, and SEC, no question. And you from Piscataway. I wish I was. No, but we say that to protect ourselves from anyone that, well, wants to con us. I mean, actually, we're here in Jackson, Michigan, which in its own self is a troubling sight. Anyway, let's see. No, the league did not rate well compared to the likes of the Big 12, Big East, and SEC, no question. And North Carolina State was by no stretch worthy of an at-large, but the Wolfpack, who finished 9-11 in the regular season for the ACC, I've been through Piscataway once. They're now 40 minutes away from the Final Four. Any argument that the league was top-heavy, whether fair or not, is invalidated by what 2 middle-of-the-pack teams, Clemson and North Carolina State, which finished 6 and 8 games out of first place in the league, respectively, have made of themselves this March. So, how are they doing, you may ask? Heard they got a good public access TV channel. Yeah. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I think it's called WILX Channel 10. Anyway, so we got to be careful. In fact, we're going to update you on a couple of those games right now, as a matter of fact. And, well, let's update right now, since we're here. The Clemson Tigers lost to the Alabama Crimson Tide 89-82. They rode a tidal wave of 3-pointers to beat Clemson and reach their first Final Four ever. Congratulations. The top performers were, for the Clemson Tigers, Gerard III with 19 points, Shefflin with 11 to, let's see. Do we have the remarks of Jeffries here, as I like to call it? Mark Sears made 7 3-pointers, and Alabama recovered from its early long-distance shooting woes with 16 3-pointers to beat Clemson 89-82 on Saturday night, sending the Crimson Tide to the Final Four for the first time. The Tide, which is 25-11, will face defending national champion UConn in Glendale, Arizona next Saturday. Alabama knocked off top-seeded North Carolina to reach the Elite Eight. Now, Sears' 3-pointers were one off his career high. He finished with 23 points, was named the most outstanding player of the West region. Freshman Jaron Stevenson airballed a 3 in the first half when Alabama missed 12 of its first 13 from long range. He made a career-high 5 threes and had 19 points off the bench. The Tide were wearing red T-shirts with the slogan, "Net Worthy," as they celebrated while a bucket of red and white confetti was dumped on them. Clemson, 24-12, was seeking its first Final Four appearance as well. In the West Region Final between the two schools, better known for their national championship football teams. Joseph Girard III led Clemson with 19 points, and Ian Sheffield had 18 points and 11 rebounds. The Tide buried the Tigers in an avalanche of 10 threes in the second half to pull away. Sears hit a 3, turned, and put his fingers to his lips after he sank the Tide's 8th 3 of the half. Sears playfully stuck out his tongue and nodded his head as he ran up the court. Clemson had allowed only 14 3-pointers in its first 3 NCAA tournament games. The Tigers tried desperately to keep up from beyond the arc. While Sears was putting on a show, Girard, who struggled offensively in the regional semifinal, hit back-to-back threes, and P.J. Hall added another that left Clemson trailing 68-62. Girard's 3 cut Clemson's deficit to 76-73, but Nick Pringle was in the midst of scoring 8 in a row for the Tide, making 4 of 6 3 throws down the stretch. He finished with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Sears stepped back left of the key and sank the Tide's 10th 3 of the half for an 82-75 lead, drawing applause from Tide alum and 7-time NBA champion Robert Big Shot Horry. I said Horry. The 4th-seed Tide were in the Elite Eight for just the second time in school history. They lost in the 2004 regional final to UConn. The 6th-seeded Tigers defeated 2nd-seeded Arizona in the regional semifinals, turned their second Elite Eight berth in 44 years. Clemson broke the game open with an early 16-4 run, including 6 straight by R.J. Godfrey to take a 26-13 lead. Alabama answered Clemson's burst with a 22-6 spurt, including 11 in a row to close the first half, leading 35-32. The Tide hit 5 threes after missing 12 of 13 to start the game. Up next, top-seeded UConn won a March Madness record 10 straight games by double digits, reaching the Final Four with a 25-point drubbing of Illinois. Oh, boy. Is that fun? Yes, should be fun. March Madness, that is, believe it or not, that report. So once again, final score, Alabama 89, Clemson 82. We'll give you the rest of the story coming up. But, wow. Wow. That's all I got to say about it. Let's see. Let's go to Major League Baseball. And, wow. Saturday marked the 3rd game of the series between AL East rivals and playoff hopefuls, Tampa Bay Rays and Toronto Blue Jays. Each team had won a game so far, and the Rays held a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th in what would eventually be a 5-1 Rays win. Randy Rosarina, who homered early in the game, was on third base after a single and two stolen bases. Jose Caballero, reached out on an infield bunt single that plated Rosarina, and eventually there was a throwing error, ending the inning with Caballero tagged out at third. And then an odd confrontation happened. Caballero had accepted that he was going to be tagged out and allowed it to happen, and then just kind of coasted a little past third, taking him into Blue Jays reliever Genesis Cabrera. They ran into each other pretty slightly. Caballero seemed to wonder why Cabrera did something, and then after some words were exchanged, Cabrera reacted with a two-handed shove to the face. Totally normal reaction. There was, of course, the usual bench clearing, but there was no further physical fighting. Instead, just a bunch of standing around and talking. No players were ejected. The two teams will square off tomorrow at 1:40 in Tropicana Field, and it's difficult to see this dust up leading to further fireworks, given how odd and relatively harmless it all seemed. But you never know. These are likely two good teams, so there's good reason to tune in anyways. You can watch it on one of the better streaming services. If you're wondering why I'm reclining, it is because I think I bruised a couple of ribs, but I got to do a lot of things tomorrow, so we'll just have to, do what we can. Okay, let us go back over here. And come on. Thank you. That's two stories. We got two more. And in pro wrestling, how do you like this for an apple? Cody Rhodes will stay with WWE for the next few years. Rhodes confirmed on Friday that he signed a multi-year contract extension with the company. The deal also pushes back Rhodes' retirement timeline. The 38-year-old originally planned to retire from professional wrestling at the age of 40. When asked about his career winding down, Rhodes told Justin Walker that his new contract will extend his in-ring career. Right. And I'm the King of England. Let's see what our producer wants and we'll get back to thing in a moment. Let's see what Matthew wants here. So a pause in the action while we descripted there. And let's see. Somewhere around here there is light, if not shadow. Okay, yep, you got stream open. I'm glad everything is good. Let's see. Okay, we got stream open. Yep, and everything is relatively kosher, as I like to call it. So there we are. Matt always loves to check the show. He's also a favorite of a program called The F It Show, hosted by my favorite lady, Piper. Okay, so thank you. Okay, let us go back to where we were, which was, as usual, doing this sports show. We are in the 24th minute of this broadcast. Can you dig it, folks? Can you dig it? Have to count every little. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. Yeah, let's get back to the WWE story. For by the way, 1 minute past midnight, and we do have a big announcement still. We're trying to figure out the time, so hang on. Uh, I can tell you 40 is out of the question just because, not to give you scoop, it was widely reported, but I did sign a new contract with the WWE. It extends beyond my 40th birthday. Now, Rhodes' retirement plan is influenced by the relationship with his late father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Cody wants to strike a different balance between his career and his daughter's life than the one Cody had with his father. Rhodes will headline or be one of the headliners uh, with his second consecutive WrestleMania at WrestleMania 40, top billing both nights. Rhodes teams with World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins against Roman Reigns and The Rock on April 6th for night one. And on night two, April 7th, it will be Rhodes versus Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion in the main event. How much you want to bet that he ain't going to get it? And if he doesn't get it, you heard it from me first. Anyway, let's continue and talk about the UFL, which began its life today. This weekend is UFL weekend, and you get an Easter present because today's UFL action was on Fox. Tomorrow's action will be on the four-letter monolith ESPN/ABC. But let us talk about the USFL. Or the USFL, no, the UFL. The NFL and college football seasons may be over, but there are still games to watch thanks to the new spring league, the United Football League, a spring football league comprised of teams and players from the USFL and the XFL. Two leagues joined forces to create the UFL and began their inaugural season today. Birmingham Stallions and Arlington Renegades kicked off, representing both former leagues. The Stallions were the USFL champions for the last 2 years, while the Renegades stand as the defending XFL champions. And by the way, the XFL, this is sort of the comedy, folks. The XFL became the only football league ever to live, die, merge 3 years in a row. You will never have an XFL ever again. So when the copyright runs out on the XFL, it's every person for themselves. Anyway, history was already made with the first ever touchdown in the league coming from Arlington and a former San Francisco 49er practice squad player. Renegades quarterback Perez Luis found wide receiver Isaiah Winstead for 51 yards and a score. With plenty of time to throw, Luis connected with Winstead, who had plenty of separation from the defenders to make the catch and easily keep going into the end zone. The first 2 points attempted followed and was successful, giving the Renegades an 11-3 lead. Lindsey Scott came in at quarterback for the attempt, lined up at the 5-yard line. Winstead was once again on the other end of the play, falling into the end zone after the catch. Winstead now owns the first ever touchdown and 2-point attempt in the UFL. The wide receiver went undrafted and spent the 23 season in the NFL on the Niners practice squad. But in January, he was released by the team in December. In January, he signed with the Renegades. We have breaking NFL news, and that NFL news is that where's the okay, let's go over here before anything else starts to happen. It is the Eagles have traded Hassan Reddick to the Jets. There we go. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. Yada yada yada. Da, 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 da. Okay, in the National Basketball Association, another one. Drama has unfolded this week around the potential sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves of the National Basketball Association and the Minnesota Link of the WNBA. Glenn Taylor, the owner uh, of both franchises, the NBA and WNBA franchises, said Thursday that the teams were, quote, no longer for sale, end quote. Taylor is claiming that prospective buyers Mark Lohr and former MLB star Alec Rodriguez did not meet their deadline to close the deal. Lohr and A-Rod have pushed back, saying they fulfilled their obligation and are committed to finalizing the deal. When Lohr and Rodriguez agreed to buy a majority stake in the franchise for a reported $1.5 billion, in 2021, they arranged to pay Taylor in installments. The acquisition was supposed to close by Wednesday. Press release from Taylor, which came as a surprise on Thursday. Quote, Glenn Taylor, chairman of Taylor Sports Group Incorporated, the general partner of Minnesota Timberwolves Basketball Limited Partnership, Timberwolves and Lynx, this morning confirmed the expiration of the option of Mark Lohr and Alex Rodriguez to acquire controlling interest in the Timberwolves and Lynx. Under terms of the purchase agreement, closing was required to occur within 90 days following the exercise notice issued by Lohr and Rodriguez. That 90-day period expired on March 27th of 24. Under certain circumstances, the buyer could have been entitled to a limited extension. However, those circumstances did not occur. Um, Taylor said, quote, I will continue to work with Mark, Alec, and the rest of the ownership group to ensure our teams have the necessary resources to compete at the highest levels on and off the court. The Timberwolves and Lynx are no longer for sale, end quote. Now, Taylor's relationship with Lohr and Rodriguez soured during the transition period. And while Lohr and Rodriguez had secured the investment necessary to finalize the sale, Taylor's position is they didn't meet the deadlines outlined in their agreement, according to ESPN. More specifically, Taylor's position is that Lohr and Rodriguez are not entitled to an extension because the NBA's Advisory Finance Committee had not reviewed the final part of the sale. The Board of Governors has not approved it, and the money has not been exchanged, according to The Athletic. Lohr and Rodriguez do not agree, the statement from their spokesperson via The Athletic. Quote, we are disappointed with Glenn Taylor's public statement today. We have fulfilled our obligations, have necessary funding, and are fully committed to closing our purchase of the team as soon as the NBA completes its approval process. Glenn Taylor's statement is an unfortunate case of seller's remorse that is short-sighted and disruptive to the team and the fans during a historic winning season, end quote. Now, the agreement stipulates that disputes like this are to be resolved by mediation and arbitration, according to The Athletic. Rodriguez told The Athletic, quote, it is now personal. We can be in this fight for 5 years, 10 years, whatever. We're not going to let go, end quote. Added Lohr on the Dane Moore NBA podcast, quote, I think Glenn just decided this team is worth a lot more than when he did the deal. And he no longer wants to abide by the contract. It's plain and simple, end quote. Lohr and Rodriguez purchased 40% of the franchises, and they were scheduled to bump their stake to 80 this week. Earlier this month, the Carlyle Group reportedly pulled a $300 million investment, but Lohr and Rodriguez, a former New York Yankees star, reportedly secured Dial Capital Partners, another private equity firm, to give them the backing they needed. The group submitted financial documents to the NBA last week in an attempt to meet the deadline, according to The Athletic. This season, the Timberwolves are 51-22 and battling for the top seed in the Western Conference. They recently signed Mike Conley to a 2-year, $20.8 million contract extension. Their payroll is set to skyrocket next season, when extensions for stars Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns kick in. So we'll just see what happens. Okay. Ain't this fun? This is Steve Sporty Balls. And I got to read a commercial, which is not a commercial, but I'm just reading. Hey, folks, got to tell you, if you have a problem and you need some advice, call not just a lawyer, but call Sam. It's what I've done because of the traffic accident that I had this week. I decided to call Sam Bernstein and talk to a lovely young lady by the name of CJ, who's told me that they're referring me to Michael Rothstein, and Monday or Tuesday he will call me. He called me yesterday, and he told me what I need to do. So I'm doing that. He gave me a free consultation. If I do take their advice or take their counsel, things should be very, very good. Right now, the old car is a complete relic, completely smashed. I got to take some pictures, and I got to give all that info and more to State Farm and have OmniSource come and get it before I get charged for storage. But as they say, we shall come to that site when we get there. Speaking of which, so if you want to call somebody, you got a little problem and you need to talk to a lawyer, why don't you do what I did? Let's call Sam. 1-800-CALL-SAM. The law offices of Sam Bernstein. Ask for CJ. She'll get you straightened out. And she's pretty good too. So are all of them. So once again, it's the law offices of Sam Bernstein. 1-800-CALL-SAM. All right. Our commercial, which didn't cost any moolah, because I endorse the folks at the law offices of Sam Bernstein. So there you go. Yes, that's the law offices of Sam Bernstein. Hey, let's go to another little suggestion before we hit the scoreboard and say goodnight to everybody. The NFL has embarked in the streaming revolution over the last few seasons. The league had its first playoff game exclusively to streaming, and it was a tremendous success, prompting the league to have a playoff game exclusively on a streaming service every year. This comes on the same year that there was an exclusive regular season game on Peacock and a new Black Friday game on Amazon, in addition to having the entire Thursday Night Football package on Amazon and Twitch, and an international game exclusively on ESPN+. Now, games exclusively to streaming have grown around the NFL, as the first international game for the 2024 season between the Philadelphia Eagles and an unnamed opponent will be on Peacock. This is the first international game in Brazil, and the league is banking on new subscribers to watch football on a Friday night on the first week of the season. As the streaming population is growing and more NFL inventory is being placed on a streaming service, Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie doesn't see a significant amount of games getting taken off broadcast television. The NFL's bread and butter is being over the air. Under the NFL's current contract, the league has an all-digital package with Thursday Night Football with Amazon, an exclusive game on ESPN+, and an exclusive game on Peacock. CBS games are also simulcast on Paramount+. NBC games are simulcast on Peacock, and any ESPN and ABC games are simulcast also on ESPN+. Amazon added the exclusive Black Friday game and wild card playoff game over the past year as part of the growing inventory of streaming. Now, with 23 million turning into a wild card playoff game, the NFL will milk the streaming cow as long as it can. Lurie doesn't want fans to be concerned that the league will have a bulk of its inventory on streaming. He said, quote, I wouldn't want anyone to think it's just another way to go to expand distribution of games. But the bulwark of NFL games are free and direct access for all customers. Sounds like a very good plan. Boy, that's first time for everything. Okay, folks, let's. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No. It's time for the scoreboard. And here we go. Scoreboard presented by livescore.com in celebrating their 25th anniversary of bringing you all the scores and nothing but the scores. Okay, let's take you on the road. Let's take you to soccer, which, of course, once again is called football. In the Premier League, Newcastle defeated West Ham 4-3. By the way, this Newcastle United beat West Ham United 4-3. Bournemouth over Everton 2-1. Chelsea and Burnley ended in a 2-2 tie. The tie disease continued for Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. They ended up in a 1-1 tie. And Sheffield United and Fulham were tied at 3. Tottenham Hotspur defeated Luton Town 2-1. Aston Villa defeated the Wolves of Wolverhampton 2-0. But of course, you got to have one more little old tie disease, and that was evident in Brentford versus Manchester United. That game ended in a 1-1 tie. In the Mexican La Liga, or actually in Spain's La Liga, Sevilla defeated Getafe 1-0. Osasuna, with a banjo on my knee, defeated Almeria by a score of 3-0. Valencia and Mallorca ended in a 0-0 tie, or 0-0 tie. And finally, Barcelona over Las Palmas 1-0. In Italy, Series A, Atalanta defeated Napoli 3-0. Genoa defeated Frosinone. Actually, they ended up in a tie 1-1. Torino defeated Monza 1-0. Lazio over Juventus 1-0. And AC Milan over Fiorentina 2-1. In Das Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen defeated Hoffenheim 2-1. Freiburg blanked Borussia, the score 3-0. Eintracht Frankfurt and Union Berlin ended up in a goose egg tie, as did RB Leipzig and Mainz. Zip, zip. Wolfsburg defeated Werder Bremen 2-0. That was the same score Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. Alrighty, let's keep on keeping on. We got MLS action. Let's go to the games that are still being played as we speak. LA Galaxy lead the Seattle Sounders 1-0. And Vancouver and Portland, the Whitecaps and Timbers, respectfully, are tied at 2. In La Liga 2 in Espanol, Real Valladolid and Levante 0-0, nada to nada, blank to blank. Elbar defeated Club Deportivo 5-1. Mirandes defeated Andorra by a score of. And Andorra defeated Mirandes 1-0. Eibar over Club Deportivo 5-1. Legans and Cartagena tied at 0. Alabama and Huesca tied at 1. And Sporting Brand doing some well. Oh, God. Oh, okay. See, we're getting close to the end here, folks. So let's see. Do we have? I think we just did the MLS scores. Did we not? Yes, we did. Okay, we don't have any other scores to Remulak on. Okay, because if we do have, we'll do them tomorrow night. Anyway, let's get back to the lovely little scoreboard from Live Score. Make sure that is set for Saturday. Thank you. Let's join the puck and get pucked. It's time for the hockey roundup. We can't, of course, play any theme music because we do not have the rights for it. So here we go. In the NHL regular season, okay, thank you very much. Let's go to ice hockey. And we go to the Saturday Martian. Thank you. Okay, the NHL regular season about ready to conclude. Let's see if Detroit mustered a win. Florida Panthers beat the Detroit Red Wings 3-2. The defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1. Edmonton over Anaheim 6-1. New York Rangers over the Arizona Coyotes 5. No, wait, is that 5? No, that's 8. New York. Yeah. Let's try this all again. Florida Panthers over the Detroit Red Wings 3-2. Vegas over Minnesota 2-1. Edmonton over Anaheim 6-1. New York Rangers over the Arizona Coyotes 8-5. Nashville lost to Colorado 7-4. Buffalo Sabres lost to the Maple Leafs 3 Vamanotes. Okay, let's see. Colorado Avalanche over the Nashville Predators 7-4. Toronto Maple Leafs over the Buffalo Sabres 3-0. Columbus Blue Jackets over the Pittsburgh Penguins. How do you do? Okay. Buffalo Sabres 0. Toronto Maple Leafs 3. Columbus Blue Jackets 4. Pittsburgh Pirates 3. Carolina Hurricane over the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 3-0. Philadelphia feel that freedom against the Chicago Blackhawks because, okay, let's keep going before the record disintegrates. Okay. Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Buffalo Sabres 3-0. Columbus over Pittsburgh 4-3. Carolina over Montreal 3-0. Chicago Blackhawks beat the Philadelphia Flyers 5-1. Boston Bruins over the Washington Caps. Okay. Let's see. Chicago Blackhawks beat the Philadelphia Flyers 5-1. Tampa Bay defeats New York 4-1. Washington Capitals lead the Boston Bruins 3-2. Ottawa Senators win against Winnipeg. I'm very costly. Okay, let's keep going. Boston Bruins over the Washington Calendar, 5-3 the score. Ugh. Okay. St. Louis Blues losing to San Jose Sharks for nothing. LA Kings, surprise. Oh, good. Uh, Calgary over the Kings. In All right. See, I'm awake. I'm awake, Matthew. Let's see. San Jose Sharks lead the Blues for nothing. Games in progress still. Calgary Flames 4. The Los Angeles Kings 2. And Dallas picks up a little lift and a little turnpike. Yeah. Oh, okay. Seattle Kraken losing to Dallas Stars 2-0. In the OHL playoff, in overtime, Sudbury defeated Mississauga 6-3. See you around. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, we're almost done, Steve. Yep, we're almost done, and I'm up. I'm awake. Here we go. We got 9 minutes. Let us not delay. Sudbury beat Mississauga 6-5. North Bay over Kingston 7-3. Saginaw over Owen Sound 3-2. And Sault Ste. Marie over the Guelph Storm. Got your number. In the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, it was Valcomier, a 4-1 winner, but it's Shaw Sorch. Okay. Hey, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Here we go. Let's see. North Bay over Kingston 7-3. Saginaw over Owen Sound 5-2. Sault Ste. Marie over the Guelph Storm 4-1. In Quebec, in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League playoffs, Bale Comieux defeated Charlestown by a score of 4-1. Rowan Noranda defeated Gatineau 2-1. Victoriaville over Shawinigan 5-1. Cape Breton over Rimouski 7-3. Akele Bathurst Titans lost to the Halifax Mooseheads 2-1. Montcalm Wildcats over the the Chicoutimi Sanguines over the Montcalm Wildcats 5-4. Sherbrooke over Blainville and Borsben 3-2. And finally, Drummondville is back on the map. They got their Walgreens. So anyway, there we go. The WHL playoff. Medicine Hat defeated Red Deer 3-1. Brandon defeated Moose Jaw 4-3. Portland over Victoria 5-1. Prince George over Spokane 7-4. Swift Current over Lethbridge 4-3. Keweenaw Rockets taking on a recently decided thing. But let's see. Moose Jaw Warriors in the Brandon Week King. Right now, I don't think we can contact our management, but it was worth a shot. The Moose Jaw Warriors beat the Brandon Wheat Click Okay, here we go. I'm up. I'm up, Matthew. So don't touch that dial. Medicine Hat over Red Deer 3-1. Moose Jaw over Brandon 5-4. Portland over Victoria 5-1. Prince George over Spokane 7-4. Swift Current over Lethbridge 4-3. Kiwana over Watachi 3-0. And how great thou art. The Everett Silvertips. Okay. Winnahatchee Wild over the Killawah Rockets 2-1. The final score. And the Everett Silvertips Vancouver awaits you. And do we have any others? Yes, we do. We got the WHA, of course. Yep. Let's get over to the AHL games. And the lone game on the schedule, the Tucson Roadrunners are leading the San Diego Gulls by a score of 6-3. Yes, let's go to the AHL and any new business, any old business. Here we go. Belleville over Laval 5-3, Rochester over Cleveland 4-3, Utica over Springfield 4-3, Wilkes-Barre over Lehigh Valley 4-3. Lethal Hard, I will tell you. We did some turns Monday, so there we go. Okay. Belleville defeated Laval 5-3. Rochester over Cleveland 4-3. Utica over Springfield 4-3. Wilkes-Barre Scranton over Lehigh Valley Phantoms by a score of 1-8. Hartford Wolfpack. Okay, let's keep going before I actually fall asleep. Where were we? Wilkes-Barre Scranton defeated Lehigh Valley by a score of 4-3. Charlotte over Bridgeport. Bridgeport over Charlotte 1-0. Hershey over Hartford 2-1. Milwaukee over the Grand Rapids Griffins 2-1. Syracuse over Providence 4-0. Rockford over Chicago 6-0. Iowa over the Texas Stars. Well, there's your answer right there. 2-1, Texas Stars advance. Ontario Reign takes over Bakersfield Condors by a score of 4-3. Quintario is a woman outside of Bakersfield's Coolers. That's why. Anyway, we'll just go up here. San Diego losing to Tucson 7-3. Coachella beat Henderson 3-2. Abbotsford over Colorado 5-1. Bakersfield over Ontario over Bakersfield 4-3. Texas over Iowa 2-1. Rockford over Chicago in a blank 6-0. Syracuse over Providence 4-0. Milwaukee over Grand Rapids online 2-1 was the final score. And by the way, two robots are waiting for the name to be called, so we can go to let's put it this way. It's been fun. It's joyous forever here. Let's keep going. Coachella 3, Henderson 2, Abbotsford 5, Colorado 1, Ontario over Bakersfield 4-3. Texas over Iowa 2-1. Rockford over Chicago Wolves 6-0. Providence Bruins over the Syracuse Crush 4-0. Grand Rapids Griffins hockey is presented by the fine folks at beer. Okay. Coachella and Henderson 3-2. Abbotsford over Colorado 5-1. Ontario reigns supreme. They are 4-0. Okay, that nice face won't be nice alone. Anyway, Tucson over San Diego 7-3. Coachella over Henderson 3-2. Abbotsford over Colorado 5-1. Breakfast Condors 4-3 final score. Texas over Iowa 2-1. Rockford Ice Hogs go have to drape, ladies and gentlemen. And I think, yep, we're gone over, which means we have literally done our show. So that's going to wrap it up for us. I wasn't asleep. I caught myself. So thank you, Matt, for reminding me of everything we still got to do. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up for us. This has been a Mystifying Creativity production, produced in association with what did we do? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, it'll be the Din to a remarkable suggestion. Anyway, okay, let us say the ending to the show. That is simply this. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep your shiny balls, keep your sporty balls real shiny. I am the Baxman. We'll see you tomorrow night for our producer, Matthew. That's right, for our producer, Matthew, the Wizard Nichols, and myself, and a cast of about 1,000. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the fine folks at NFL football. They wanted it. They're going to get it. And hopefully, well, give solving trouble again. But anyway, that is going to wrap things up for us. For the best crew in the land, behind the cameras and in front of the cameras, I'm Steve, the Baxman Baxley, a.k.a. the Baxman. Until we meet again, good night. Thank you. Sweet dreams. Get out of here. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow night at 11:35. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. It was a great stream once again. Keep your sporty balls shiny. Until then, good night. We'll see you tomorrow night at 11:35. Good night, everybody.